let's get started. My name is Kyle Edgerly and I'm with Real Havoc. Today we're going to be working inside After Effects to recreate that nighttime fantasy shot. We're going to be starting in Mocha though, which you should have if you have CS5 or later. You could use the point tracking system inside After Effects, but I feel like Mocha does a better job at this sort of effect. We're going to start by choosing your clip right here. Make sure your settings down below all match that sequence. Click OK. I'm going to skip to frame 166 because we're just going to be working on this shot today. Alright, we're going to be doing 4 motion tracks to this specific shot. We're going to do one for the background, which will be the placeholder for our particle system. We're going to do one for the girl, and this is going to be the alpha channel for those particles, so we can have particles behind her without having to mask frame by frame. And we're going to do 2 more motion tracks, one on each eye, and this will be for the gleam effect. As the particle goes in front of her face, we can have the reflection of it in her eye. Alright, we're going to start with the background. Click this little icon up here and just start to draw a shape down here. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Right click to close it out. We're going to change the minimum pixels used to 50 so we can get a little bit of a stronger track on this. The smaller you have, it's always good to up it up a bit. And we're going to click this icon here to start. As it's tracking, I'm going to fast forward ahead so you guys don't have to watch. Okay, we're not quite done with this track. As you can see towards the right, that the track is actually going out of the frame. So what we're going to do is press and hold down the letter X and just click and drag ourselves over. We're going to select this layer again so we can see our points. We're just going to bring these over again. There we go. Now you can move these at any point in your track, but as long as you leave one stationary. If you move them all, it will actually shift the track over, and then that will mess you up later. So you can move any of them as many times as you need to in the track, just leave one stationary. Alright, so we're going to zoom out a little by pressing Z and clicking out, and then we're just going to even this back out by holding down X, and we're going to continue the track. Alright, we're at the end of the track, so what we're going to do is go down to the bottom and click Export Tracking Data. It's going to give you several options. You want to do After Effects Corner Pin Supports Motion Blur Text. Just click Copy to Clipboard, and we're going to jump in to After Effects. Alright, now that we're in After Effects, you're going to double click this area here, import your footage. I already have it up. You're going to click it, drag it, bring it down to this icon, and it will make a comp with the exact settings of your clip. You're going to go up to Layer, New, Null Object, and then you're going to press Command V. Make sure the timeline scrub is at the very beginning of the timeline. This is very important for when you're pasting in your motion tracking data. So press Command V. This will add all your motion tracking data. As you can see, it sticks nicely to our background. Alright, we're going to hop back into Mocha and track her and her eyes. Okay, back here in Mocha, and all you're going to do is follow the same steps as we did before. You're just going to do a circle around each eye, export it, put it in as a null in After Effects. When you do an eye, you don't want to go around the eye really close, because if you do, if she ever blinks or moves her eye, it will actually ruin your tracking. So make sure you go up to the eyebrow, get some space around the eye, and track it that way. Once you've done her eye, we're going to do one around her body. Select this icon. This doesn't have to be anything fancy again, just do a nice rough cut around her. Alright. Right click to end it. I'm just going to bump this up to 30 and start tracking. Okay, we're back in After Effects. We're just going to run through the day for night grading really quickly. Over here you have your background, null, the girl, the right eye, the left eye, and the light. The light was just for this light. I motion tracked that quick so we can throw a picture over it and make it disappear. But we're going to take this footage and we're going to duplicate it. And you're going to go up to Effect, Magic Bullet Colorista, Colorista 2. I'm using Magic Bullet Colorista 2. You don't have to. You can use the built-in color grading things for After Effects. I just find this gets me what I need faster. We're going to take those shadows and drop them down to the blue. We're going to keep the midtones a little purpler than that. And we're going to take those highlights and we're going to drop them more to the teal side. And what you'll have is a very purple looking image. So we're going to lower down the purple just a little bit more. Okay. We're going to go into layer effect, color correction, hue and saturation. And we're going to drop this down to -29. And as you can see in her face, it's very flat. It's blue just like the rest. So all I'm going to do is take the original clip that we duplicated, drag it on top, and I'm going to do a really quick mask. Alright, press M twice. We're going to feather that out a lot. A lot. Take the mask expansion, bring it in a little. As you can see, it just brings a little color to her face if we toggle back and forth here. It just makes it a little more dynamic, a little less flat. If you press the stopwatch to the mask path, go to the end, just fix up it a bit, kind of go into the middle. Just fix up some of those keyframes so it follows her face a little bit better. We're not going to get into it too deeply. You guys can go as fine-tuning as you want when you do it, but this is just for tutorial purposes. Okay, so now we're going to add layer, new, solid. We're going to make it black. We're just going to take the pen tool, and we're going to make a small vignette around her. Just like this. Alright, we're going to press M twice on that and feather it out a ton. Bring the expansion out a little bit, little less feather. Okay, that should do it. That just gives a vignette, makes you focus on her a little bit. Now we are going to work on the fireflies. What you're going to have to do first is you're going to have to go to layer, new, solid. We're going to pick a white solid, pure white. We're going to make that invisible for the moment. We're going to take our pen tool, and this rotoscope you actually want to be pretty fine. We're just going to go around quickly. Okay, now we finished that mask. We're going to turn it back on. We're going to feather it out just a little bit. Say like 6. Yeah, it should be good. Alright. And now that is going to be our alpha channel for the fireflies. You can go through frame by frame if you keyframe the mask path by clicking the stopwatch, going through and just fixing them up a little bit. But what we're actually going to do is parent it to the girl null that we used earlier. So now it's going to follow a little bit better. But now you can see her shoulder comes out a little. So what we're going to do is drop the opacity of this for a minute. And we're just going to fix this up a little bit. Okay, so just go through the frames, making sure it stays on her pretty well. It's not going to be perfect, but that's okay. Just that null helps us keep it on it. Makes us do a little less keyframing, speeds up the mask. Okay, before we continue, we're going to get rid of this light in this hand. I've already done it. I'm just going to paste in what I did. You essentially just take a screenshot, bring it into Photoshop, paint it out, bring it back in, mask it, pop it in. I'm just going to parent this to the lights, and I'm going to drag it under that black vignette we did earlier. Now it's gone. We're going to go back, we're going to press Command Y, that's going to bring up a new solid. You're going to make the width 3067 by 1663, so you have a nice big black solid. You're going to Effect Particular, Trap Code Particular. You don't need Particular, you can use CC Particle World, which is built into After Effects. I just like the customization. Alright, let's hop right in. We're going to go to Emitter, bring this to 90. We're going to go from point to box, uniform to disk, direction speed to 12, X rotation to 112, the Y to 3, velocity to 40, velocity random to 100, velocity distribution to 5, emitter size X to 1495, emitter size Y is going to be 1583, and emitter size Z is going to be 1415. Also, take that velocity from motion and set that to 0. And that we're just going to select this layer and kind of drag it back a little so we can start seeing the particles we made, because they're not there right in the beginning of the timeline. Okay, we're going to go to particles now, start editing that up. We're going to keep the life at 3, but the life random we're going to bring to 5. We're going to change the sphere to glow sphere, and you can see right away you start to get that look that you're looking for. Sphere feather is going to be set to 100. Size is going to be to 9. Your size randomness is going to be 100. Opacity stays 100. Opacity random goes to 100. And you're just going to toggle the size over life down. And we're just going to kind of give it a jagged. There we go, because we don't want it to be perfect. We want it to be organic looking, random. And the opacity over life, we're just going to click this one so it kind of fades in nice and fades out. And under your physics, make your gravity 10, keep it to air, physics time factor 1. Now what you're going to do is take this black layer and bring it under your white solid. Make sure your white solid is 100% opacity, but you want to turn it off by clicking this eyeball. Take the black solid, you're going to go to Luma Inverted Matte. What that's going to do is use that white solid as a matte, so it's going to keep any of the particles that go over her, and it's going to mask it and put it under her. So now I'm just going to take this and I'm going to parent it to my background layer. Alright, so now we should have nice looking particles in the background. Look at that. Okay. So now what we're going to do is take this black layer and this white layer, select them both by holding down Command, clicking the other one. We're going to duplicate them, and on this second black one, we're going to go to Effect, Trap Code Shine, and the ray length is going to be 2, boost light is going to be 18, colorize you're going to put to 1 color, and you're going to take this little toggly thing right here and put it like right around here. Get this to be their glowing area. Just kind of mess around with it till you find a nice spot. Maybe like right around here. You don't want the glow to be too strong. If you find it's too strong, just kind of lower it down a bit. There we go. Okay. I'm going to drop the opacity of this layer just a little, just so there's more glow. There we go. Alright. Okay, now what we're going to do is do another layer, new, solid. We're going to make this one comp size. Okay, then you're going to add optical flares. We're just going to take this lens flare here, and we're going to put its transfer mode to add, and we're just going to drag it out, just like that. That's just going to be some moonshine, just to help with the day for night. We're also going to add another black solid. You know what, just press Command Y. Same thing, comp size. Effect, we're going to add another optical flares. In this one, we're going to go into Options. Alright, we're going to go into the light. Click on this one. This will work. And just hide anything that gives that little tail off of it. We don't want that for this. So just kind of go around hiding them all. There we go. Click OK. Now we have this. We're going to change its transfer mode to add as well. We're going to drop the size way down. Let's say 30. We'll drop the brightness down to like 70. Let's go 80. Alright. Okay, now we're going to hold down the button Option, and we're going to click the little stopwatch. So Option, click next to the position X and Y. We're going to type in a little expression. We're going to type in wiggle, open parenthesis, 1, 80, close parenthesis. Just click out of there. And what that's going to do is just give the little optical flare a little bounce. It's just going to wiggle around by itself. So then what we're going to do is we're going to press P on the black solid. That's going to bring up the position. We're going to click the stopwatch. And I want the stopwatch to make sure it's like right around here, so you know her eyes are looking right at it. That's perfect. Maybe even move it just a little, like right there. Okay. Go to the beginning. And we're just going to move it up here. Up there. And then we're going to go towards the end. And bring it away. Okay, now we want to get to the point in time when it gets into her eyes, right about there. Okay, so what we're going to do is duplicate this solid by pressing Command D. And we're going to move it over her eye. Okay. We're going to get rid of the other one, just, get rid of it for right now, the second. We're going to lower down the brightness a lot, so it's barely just a gleam. Let's zoom in here, get a little closer. Okay, and we're going to set a keyframe. So right here, we want it to be about that. We'll go back, 4 or 5 frames, and we'll make it less. Like nothing. Okay. Also, when it's right here, what we're going to do, press P. Just press that stopwatch. We're going to kill those keyframes that we just did. And we're going to link this to the eye one that we did. So now it's going to stay in the eye, or it's going to keep the motion. We're also going to take this and we're going to option click the X and Y again, and that's going to reset the wiggle for us. Okay, so fix the position right in the eye. Now it will be motion tracked to her eye like that. So now all we have to do is get our mask tool, just draw a shape around her eye, just like this. And then it will stay in there all nice. We're going to feather it just a teeny bit, just to give it that realistic look. And if you press M twice, bring up the other settings, we're just going to bring the expansion in just a little. Okay. So now you're going to have that gleam in her eyes, and it's all going to stay with her eye. And you're going to do the same exact thing to the other one. Also, once it starts to go away, go like 4 or 5 frames up, and then lower the brightness again. Okay, we're going to do it to the other eye. Just Command D. We're going to just reuse what we just did. Bring it over there. And we want to just fix it up just a little, because it doesn't follow the eye quite perfectly. Just kind of go in there and fix it. Alright. We're also going to take it from being null 22 to null 24, the other eye. So then the tracking's all the same. And just make sure everything's all good. That looks good. She looks kind of scary right there. We're going to zoom out. We're going to turn back on that other lens flare. Alright. I'm actually going to take the position that we have of it. I'm going to raise it up a little. Alright. There we go. So it just matches her eyes a little bit more. As you can see, it kind of comes by. And you can see I kind of cut the keyframes a little slow. You could start it like back here. No, I'm going to go ahead and do that really quick. Just going to take this, get the keyframe for the brightness. Effects, flares, brightness. I'm going to take that. I'm going to bring it all the way back here. I'll bring this more here. And I'm going to do the same for the other one. Bring it back, and you can kind of offset them a little, give a little bit of realisticness, because they're not going to be perfectly uniform. All right. Kind of go. Her face kind of glows. It all works. Now, if you want to get into more detail, you can just take a yellow solid, cut it to her face, motion track it to her. Put its transfer mode to add, make it really transparent, just kind of cut it out around her nose and chin, and actually have this light up her face, but we're not going to do that right now. Also, we're just going to drop the opacity of those 2 eye reflections just a little bit. Don't want them to be too out there. That should be good. And if you just want to go back to that original lens flare, we did the orange one for the flare, and go up to rotation offset, hold down option, click it. We're going to type in one more little expression. We're going to just say time times, let's say 50. And what this is going to do is just give it a little more life. It's going to rotate as it's kind of going around, which helps it a little bit. We're also going to toggle the switches, and we're going to just put motion blur on this. It helps it out a bit. We're also going to go down to the other solids we did. We're going to put motion blur on both those. And let's just check that out with a quick RAM preview. And that is looking pretty good. Add another optical flares, a little bit of tweaking, add some fantasy style music, and you'd be good to go. Alright, this is the end of the tutorial. I thank you for watching. If you guys happen to do this effect, post it as a video response. We'd love to see your work. My name's Kyle Edgley with Real Havoc. Until next time.